Okay, let's go look at example 7. Here you have the limit as x approaches -3 of 2 quadratic trinomials.
2 quadratic trinomials.
That's right. So
Shut down.
So what we have, the first thing we'll do is try to plug in -3. So what is going to be -3 for each of these? We're going to have -3 squared plus 2 times -3 minus 3 over, we have -3 squared plus 6 times -3 plus 9. And so we have 9 minus 3 minus 3, so that's going to be 0. And then we have 9 minus 18 plus 9, that's going to be 0. So what do we call this?
That's the
Starts with I.
indeterminate form.
Indeterminate form. Indeterminate form. And what we do is we have this little thing here, right? More work. All right, so let's go ahead and see if we can factor this out. Well, we know if we see this 0 over 0, we know we can factor it out, because there's no way we can get 0 over 0 unless this is factorable. So here we have x, is it plus 3 and minus x minus 1? That is it, isn't it? And we have in the denominator x plus 3, x plus 3, and these cancel out. So what we have is the limit as x approaches -3 of x minus 1 over x plus 3. And what that's going to be is we'll have -3 minus 1 over -3 plus 3. So that's going to be -4 over 0. So we can say this limit here does not exist. Now, is it going to be equals does not exist?
No, it just does not exist.
Does not exist because we don't want to have two verbs in our sentence, right? So this thing does not exist. So that's two actions verb in the sentence. So that's it. And we have, we don't know if the thing goes toward negative infinity or positive infinity. Now we have example 8, which to me is a more advanced problem because of what?
Because of the square thing.
It's cubed.
Yeah, because of this cubic thing here. But so we can try, if we plug in 2, we can just try it mentally out, right? If we have 2 times 2 minus 4, that's 0, right? And then we have 2 cubed, that's going to be, right, 8 minus 24 plus 24 minus 8. So 8 minus 24 plus 24 minus 8, we're going to have 0 over 0, right? So that means we need to factor this thing. So limit as x approaches 2 of, and this numerator, I'm going to factor that out is like this. So do we know we can factor this bottom one? Yeah.
Yes.
So what I'm going to do is synthetically divide it out here.
My brain just goes straight throughout synthetic division.
I didn't ever think to just like take out the 2 and then make it x minus 2.
Oh, you did? Oh, you did?
I never thought of it.
One thing I'm trying to do, you did?
Yeah.
One thing I'm trying to do with, because I'm trying to get to Gavin turning these exercises today these like preview, the review of pre-calculus, and stuff like this is covered. So, but you have to be reminded sometimes of what to do. So here we have -4, -8. This will be 4 here and 8. So that's 0. So what we're going to have is, we're going to have this x minus 2 over x squared minus 4x plus 4. Does that seem right?
Yes.
Yeah, so when we plug in for this, we're going to get 2, and then in the denominator we're going to get 2 squared minus 4 times 2 plus 4. So that's going to be 2 over 4 minus 8 plus 4. That's 0, isn't it? 0. So what do we know about this limit up here? We know that this one also does not exist. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, the cubic one here, the cubic polynomial,
You gotta like,
has more steps to the factoring.
not that bad though.
Yeah, well, no, it isn't. Now, once you kind of get used to it, yeah, that shouldn't be bad. Now, when you took Algebra 2 years ago, did you guys do much of that synthetic division type of stuff? You didn't?
Mr. G, I don't remember 2 years ago.
2 years ago was, oh man, that's Mr. Calvin.
That was Mr. Calvin, yeah.
I remember.
So we did
You
do
have those
synthetic, yeah.
toys, and you have to figure out how to.
The puzzles, yeah.
I bought
That's
that for you.
his thing, puzzles. They're pretty good. Okay, now we have these things here, which are the piecewise functions, right?
Oh. Yeah.
And so we're trying to find the limit as x approaches 1 of f of x. And you can see that 1 is the critical number because you look for that here. So what you have to do for this one, when you see a piecewise function like this, the way to do this is to set this up as a left-hand limit equals right-hand limit. And so we take our left-hand, which of these is the left-hand piece?
The one that's
The one at the
less
top.
than 1.
Less than 1, so the one on the bottom, right? So let's go work that out. We have the limit as x approaches 1 from the left side of f of x is going to be equal to the limit as x approaches 1 from the right side of f of x. Now, do we know this for a fact? Do we know that this is an actual valid equation for a fact?
We do not.
We do not.
No.
We do not know. Okay? So we're going to plug in and figure out, well, that's supposed to be 1 from the minus there. See that? We'll make sure everybody sees that. 1 from the left side, limit is x approaches 1 from the left side of fx equals limit as x approaches 1 from the right side of fx. So on the left side, we take this one right here, we're going to have negative 2 times 1 minus 1. So that's the left side, right? And the right side is going to be 1 squared minus 4. So here we have negative 3 equals negative 3. So does the limit, left-hand limit equal
Yes.
right-hand limit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the limit exists.
So limit exists,
And it's
thank you,
negative
And it's negative.
and
3.
equals negative 3.
Whoa.
So we say
Dude.
limit, we conclude limit as x approaches 1 of f of x equals negative 3. Okay, so that came up that way.
This is the coolest class.
Now, go look at number 10. We'll go over that in a few minutes, all right?
last one? You still won't be able to. Not remember what I said. But you still won't be able
Now, once you get used to doing this notation, the way I did it here on example 9, so it becomes just sort of your process.
You just blew my mind, Mr. G.
Wouldn't
But,
that just be non-existent?
yeah, and Kylie's right about that, because,
I just didn't know that if the top number was a -1, that it meant it was a negative infinity.
yeah, and it will go toward negative infinity, so if you draw it out, it's gonna go different directions. Okay, the asymptote, the one on the left is gonna go towards positive infinity. So at 2, the thing's gonna go up like this, okay? And then on the left, then on the right side, it's gonna go like this, right? That's what it's gonna look like. But even if one of these was infinity, okay, even if these were both positive infinity, still the answer would be does not exist. Whenever infinity is found anywhere, on the left-hand side or right-hand side, or both, still the limit does not exist. Right? Okay, let's go on ahead here. Example 11, where's example, that's example 10. Example 11.
Oh.
Okay,
There's just one called that, I have absolutely no money. Oh.
okay. Now for this one, if you plug in 0, can you see you're gonna end up getting 0 over 0? Yeah,
Oh, you're right.
yeah, because you'll get square root of 2 minus square root of 2 over 0. So how would you handle something like this?
And completely honestly, I probably wouldn't.
You would, yeah.
I'd skip it.
What happens is, there actually is a technique you're going to be introduced to called L'Hopital's rule later on. But right now, well, that'll be easier this way, but right now what we're going to do is we're going to do something that's called multiplying by the conjugate. You ever heard of that before?
I've heard of it, but I don't really, it's familiar in my head, but I don't.
It's going to be a little bit in the reviews, because I think in rationalizing we multiply by the conjugate. You know what a conjugate is?
Like well,
What we do, a conjugate is going to be the same thing as this, but plus. So it's going to be square root of x plus 2 plus square root of 2. And we do the same thing in the denominator here.
oh, fine.
Okay, so now we go ahead and we work this out. We get this times this equals x plus 2, right? And then we have what's negative square root of 2 times square root of 2 plus 2, right? And then in the denominator, we have x times square root of x plus 2 plus square root of 2x. So we're going to have 0. That's still going to be, no, this could be minus. So that still is going to be 0 over 0, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah. The thing about it is, I have to tell you, I have trouble doing this without using L'Hopital's rule, frankly. So that really didn't, because we should have 0 over 0 still, even with this multiplying by the conjugate. So, yeah, but there is some way to work it out. I just don't know what that is right now. I'll figure it out. I'll come back tomorrow. I don't know what that is. Okay, try these two here, 22 and 23, or 22, just we've got 22.
I'm hungry, Mr. G.
Me too.
I still have a whole class before lunch.
Well, only if Hannah would just have shared some Cheetos with
Which honestly
you.
is a nice change.
I
You'd be
gave my
better off.
Cheetos to
Because I was always
Gavin.
starving.
If Gavin shared the Cheetos, he ate them all.
I had a lunch.
And the only guy that I've had to eat with him.
What does Gavin want to eat? What are we talking about?
Huh?
I don't know. What are we doing?
Uh-oh.
Aaron said that he'd see you with you, and that's like
That's
bad.
the only downside of having lunch.
Yeah, I heard it.
Yeah.
You're the one that said you were going to eat the table. I didn't invite you.
That's true, I kind of forced
You
myself.
weren't invited.
You said-
That's it.
Yeah.
The mystery solid like you want to sit there.
That's not very funny.
Uh,
Did you hear Coach out?
Yeah.
Oh, I got it
Someone
wrong.
I didn't know anything about government, and he was like, "Why are you in my class?" I don't think we're some
I was.
It's required.
I didn't ask this.
yeah, okay.
Go where? Ramsey.
Quarter Randy.
Green one.
Okay, is this right here?
Mean town.
I'm not sure right now.
We're good.
2 times, well, the right side's going to be just 3, excuse me, I got it wrong here, didn't I? So this is going to be 3 minus 1 here, right? So I get 3 equals 2, is that right?
No. D and E.
Yeah, so since left-hand limit does not equal right-hand limit, this limit in this case does not exist.
Who goes the dynamite?
Okay, try this, do this 23 here. We'll probably take it to there. And I'm going to come back and see if I can figure out that number 11 somehow without using L'Hopital's rule.
My batteries are low.
Why are you using a calculator?
See how high it was.
Mine's almost dead.
Because he said mine's almost dead, and I said, I'm seeing mine dead.
Well, why are you using it?
It's like half a
I was your hand up. She actually reminded me to.
How do you check the battery?
And look at top. Yeah. Look, in the corner.
Well, you have like a fancy, yeah. How did you figure it out?
I did it, it just said low battery.
Oh, it tells you.
Oh, yeah. Do you need some more batteries, Gavin?
I do.
Here, I got some
You got
for
some
you.
right now?
Yeah, I got some. I think Miss Van has some. Some over here.
Like me to put these away?
Yeah, you can just toss them. Yeah, I'm gonna see if Miss Van has some more for me. Here.
Thank you.
Okay, how did 23 come out for you?
To me, it had a limit.
What was the limit?
Negative 2.
-2?
Yeah. But I could be wrong.
That's right. Did you show that?
Yeah, I think that's what you're gonna get. I think that is it.
Nice.
Because the limit as x approaches -1 from the left of f of x equals limit as x approaches -1 from the right side of f of x. So the left side is this guy right here, right? So 2 times -1, and the right, sometimes I'll put a question mark up here. And then on the right side limits we
Oh,
have
you look like you in the 6th grade.
we have -1 cubed minus 1. So -2 equals -2. So that checks out. So our answer to this one here is going to be -2 because left-hand limit equals right-hand limit. Okay.